Ex-McLaren star Alex Dunn has just lifted the lid on his shocking F1 exit and revealed what Lando Norris is really like, and his confessions are absolutely stunning. The Irish racing prodigy departed the McLaren F1 operation in mysterious circumstances last October, leaving fans and media speculating about what really happened behind closed doors. Dunn was considered one of McLaren's brightest young talents, with a seemingly clear pathway to Formula One through the reigning world champions development program. His sudden exit raised countless questions about whether he was pushed out, failed to meet expectations, or chose to walk away from one of F1's most prestigious junior academies. Now the 20-year-old has finally broken his silence, and the truth about his departure is completely different from what everyone assumed. If you want to stay on top of everything happening in F1, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Dunn has clarified that his departure from the McLaren Junior program in October 2025 was actually his own choice, not the team pushing him out. He explained to Balls.e that it was actually my decision, made to ensure he has a clear path toward his ultimate goal of becoming a Formula One driver. This voluntary exit contradicts widespread speculation that McLaren had dropped him due to performance concerns or budget constraints. Instead, Dunn took control of his own career trajectory by making the difficult decision to leave one of F1's top teams. The inspiration for quitting McLaren came from Dunn's strategic assessment of his realistic pathway to Formula One. He decided to walk away because he felt the move was necessary to avoid spending 2026 sitting on the sidelines while McLaren's current F1 seats are completely locked down. With Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri both under long-term contracts and performing at championship-winning levels, Dunn saw no realistic opening for years. He noted that although his father was initially hesitant about leaving such a prestigious program, he felt more than comfortable with the choice as part of a larger plan to reach the top flight. McLaren's driver lineup situation made Dunn's position increasingly untenable for someone desperate to reach Formula One quickly. Norris just captured the 2025 World Championship and has McLaren committed to him for years to come. Piastri is locked in as his teammate and showed in 2025 that he's capable of fighting for championships himself. This perfect storm of circumstances meant Dunn faced potentially years of waiting for an opportunity that might never materialize at McLaren. Despite leaving the team, Dunn speaks very highly of his time under team principal Zak Brown and the pretty special opportunities he was given. He stated, "I'll always thank McLaren for that opportunity," showing genuine gratitude despite his decision to depart. Dunn specifically referenced his successful FP1 debut in Austria, where he was within just 2/10 of Oscar Piastri's pace. That performance proved he had the raw speed to compete at F1 level and validated McLaren's initial decision to sign him. Being within 2/10 of Piastri during his Austrian FP1 session represents an absolutely exceptional result for a junior driver. Piastri is an established race winner and championship contender who knows the McLaren car intimately. For Dunn to match his pace so closely with minimal seat time demonstrates extraordinary natural talent. This performance explains why multiple F1 teams have reportedly shown interest in the Irish driver since his McLaren exit. But what Dunn revealed about working with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri will shock you. Dunn praised McLaren's main drivers, describing them as normal people who are simply on television more often than others. This down-to-earth assessment contradicts perceptions that F1 champions operate on a completely different level of celebrity and ego. He noted that getting to see how Norris and Piastri approach a race weekend was pretty cool and provided invaluable lessons for his own career development. Norris's reputation as one of F1's most approachable and genuine personalities was clearly confirmed by Dunn's first-hand experience. The newly crowned world champion apparently treats junior drivers with respect and accessibility rather than maintaining barriers. This mentality creates a positive team environment at McLaren where young drivers can learn from champions without feeling intimidated or excluded. Dunn's praise for both Norris and Piastri suggests McLaren has cultivated an excellent culture despite their championship-winning success. The learning opportunities Dunn gained from observing how Norris and Piastri prepare for race weekends proved invaluable. Seeing their engineering debriefs, physical preparation, mental approach, and attention to detail gave him a blueprint for what's required at the highest level. These insights cannot be replicated through any other experience besides actually being embedded within a front-running F1 team. Even though Dunn left McLaren, the knowledge he gained will benefit him throughout his entire career. Dunn was heavily linked with Red Bull at the time of his McLaren exit, suggesting major teams recognized his talent. However, a switch to Helmut Marko's notoriously demanding youth stable never materialized, despite apparent mutual interest. The 20-year-old has also been linked with Alpine, who are assessing their driver options as they evaluate Franco Colapinto's long-term future in 2026. These connections to multiple F1 teams prove Dunn's marketability and potential. Despite leaving McLaren, Red Bull's interest in Dunn is particularly significant given their reputation for ruthlessly high standards in their junior program. Helmut Marko doesn't waste time on drivers he doesn't believe can reach Formula One at a competitive level. The fact that Red Bull explored signing Dunn validates his talent and suggests he has genuine F1 potential. That the deal never happened likely reflects Red Bull's already crowded driver pipeline rather than doubts about Dunn's abilities. Alpine represents another intriguing possibility for Dunn given their uncertain driver situation heading into 2026 and beyond. Franco Colapinto's disastrous 2025 season without scoring a single point has Alpine questioning whether he's their long-term answer. If Alpine decides to make changes, Dunn could potentially enter their junior program or even leapfrog straight to an F1 seat if he dominates F2 in 2026. His lack of junior program ties gives him flexibility to negotiate with multiple teams simultaneously. As he prepares for his sophomore F2 campaign with Rodin Motorsport in 2026, Dunn is focused on capturing the championship title. Being unattached to a specific F1 junior program may actually allow him more flexibility to negotiate with various teams as the 2027 driver market begins taking shape. Rather than being locked into one team's decisions and timeline, Dunn can create bidding competition between interested parties. This strategic independence could prove more valuable than remaining in McLaren's program with no clear path forward. Dunn's sophomore F2 season will be absolutely crucial in determining whether his McLaren exit gamble pays off. He needs to challenge for the championship and demonstrate consistent front-running pace to maintain F1 team's interest. A mediocre F2 campaign would validate critics who suggested he should have stayed at McLaren regardless of seat availability. However, if he wins the F2 title, multiple F1 teams will likely compete to sign him for 2027. The 2027 driver market timing could work perfectly for Dunn if his 2026 F2 campaign succeeds. Multiple F1 seats will likely become available as contracts expire and teams reassess their lineups. Dunn could position himself as the hottest free agent available, unencumbered by junior program commitments that might restrict his options. This scenario represents exactly what he envisioned when making the difficult decision to leave McLaren's security. His father's initial hesitation about leaving McLaren reflects the risk inherent in Dunn's strategic gamble. Walking away from a top F1 team's junior program is never an easy decision, especially for a young driver without guaranteed alternatives. However, Dunn's confidence in his own abilities and clear-eyed assessment of McLaren's blocked pathway drove his choice. Time will tell whether his bet on himself proves correct, but his maturity and strategic thinking are already impressive for a 20-year-old. Do you think Alex Dunn made the right decision leaving McLaren's junior program to maintain flexibility, or should he have stayed with the world champions regardless? The fact that he speaks so positively about Lando Norris and his McLaren experience while still choosing to walk away shows just how blocked his pathway really was, and whether his gamble succeeds could define his entire career trajectory.